see, I know the value of production, film production.
Yeah.
I respect the value of film production. But there's also a value in teaching film studies.
I don't doubt it.
Right?
I'm just trying to say that the economy we are in,
Yes.
nobody will say
Because you
you
cannot just teach film production without making the student understand that there's something also called film studies, which is the critique of film and society.
No. Hold on now. Prof, that's a dangerous ground. No. You can teach them that. A student comes and registers, he wants to do editing. You are showing him the great masters of editing.
No,
fine. There's no way. Even in drama, will you teach writing drama without teaching the appreciation of drama to the extent that it is necessary for what the student is doing?
That's what I'm saying. That there must be some portion of film studies.
Yeah. The student doesn't earn a mark. Doesn't
no
mark for
it. The student doesn't have to earn marks. No, the student will earn mark in film production.
A student is doing direction, film direction.
Yes.
3-unit course. What are you going to do? The best you can do, which is a portion of it, is take great directors and their styles. Then you teach him directing.
Yes.
For film.
When you teach great directing,
when you are teaching great directing and they are seeing the films, you are using Western canon, my brother.
No, I understand that, but you are also teaching by default. You are also teaching
film studies.
Yes, you are.
You are teaching.
You are saying,
but
okay, these are
I'm subordinating film studies to film production.
Yes,
essentially.
No, you are right. Yeah. But I say, if you say, okay, you want to teach Orson Welles.
Yeah,
as a great director.
As a great director and deep focus.
You say, okay, you focus on Orson Welles.
Yes.
Or what's this guy who made Jaws? You want to teach that?
Yeah. Coppola? Okay. Is it Coppola? No.
Not Coppola.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so you want to teach that.
Yeah.
You will also have to teach the students why these shots are this way.
That is Western canon. That's what I'm saying. What you are going to teach them is Western canon of filmmaking. Prof, that's what I've been doing. It's Western canon. If I start teaching them, this is the way TK does it, they will walk out of my class. Because TK tries to copy, but that's what TK learned. He has now indigenized it himself. So if I teach them, I'm teaching them Western canon of filmmaking. I'm teaching them these great directors. Then I said, this is their style.
We're saying the same thing, but my point
is that I don't indigenize the theories when I teach.
No, it is not. My point is not about indigenizing the theories.
Yeah.
My point is, at least by default, you also teach studies.
What if I tell you I agree?
Then I'm happy.
But not seriously.
Then I'm happy. Because you cannot teach. You cannot teach film production without some theories or some appreciation.
You know, there goes the argument again. Which goes before the other? Yeah. The theory or the practice?
It's the practice.
Fine.
I mean, no, it's the practice.
No, I'm just trying to tell you.
No, it's the practice.
That is the whole essence of film making. Teaching film production.
Yes.
Yeah. It is the practice.
I'm actually talking about the theory. Yeah. It's actually because of this question that the practice is there.
Yeah.
But then a means of explaining, of giving them
explanation how to read these films.
Why do you use this? A lot of people do these things, but they don't know why. So if
you know what? Yes, I agree.
Not again, the why might not be explained in the Western way.
No, but
it's like, okay, if someone is speaking and they are not looking at each other, you try to tell them and say, hey, by at least by looking at each other, the person, I remember even the old people, at times we tend to, the audience, we tend to underestimate their knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
I remember, watching a movie and my mom would say that, and that's how we have not even seen the person who is talking to. And that person is
yes.
Can you see that they're sophisticated?
Enough.
No, they are.
But if you were teaching, if the students who is doing, they are doing it intentionally, no matter what name is called. So this is what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, sir.
But don't forget again, nobody comes like a virgin to the film school.
Yes.
The person has consumed
a lot of films
of this.
Yeah.
So the person has come with a whole stock of this thing. Let me tell you the first assignment I did as a film student when I was in the US. We're all given the same stock of film, the same length of film, celluloid, the same thing, everything. And how many were we in class? I think we were probably 14 or 15. And you were asked to go and edit.
tell different stories.
Tell different stories. You were amazed at the kind of stories people came with, but you had the same everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say nobody
Yeah.
came blank.
Yeah.
So even if you are going to teach them,
Yeah.
you are drawing from that corpus,
That
and that is Western already.
It's Western. It
That's
was
all I'm
the
trying to
same
say.
assignment I was given in France
You know,
when I
well-
went for my first film assignment.
Yeah.
We were in 3 groups. We were given the same stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's the
Then
same
go
thing.
and edit and
Yeah.
tell.
Yeah,
different
why
stories.
can't say why you did your
why
own
did
this
you
way?
do that? Yeah.
It's the same thing. You will find everybody has their own idea, but you find that the standard you are following is already Western, whether we like it or not. It is already there.
But
Yeah.
well, it's Western, but there are also filmmakers who decide from the get-go to say, I'm going against the standard.
Oh, but they will starve. You see,
But
the
even,
thing.
even when they are
Okay.
going against
Yeah.
it, they
No.
know the standard.
No,
Yes,
they
they
do
must
it.
know it.
And not
No, they
only
must
that,
know
Yeah.
it. No, you cannot critique
No,
what you
hold
don't
on.
know.
What you don't know.
what
Yeah.
market are they going into?
No experimental films.
Where does that end up?
It doesn't end up anywhere.
That's why I say you will
No.
starve.
No.
You
it
see,
doesn't.
we had this argument in Pan Atlantic. You know, there was this professor who said, why am I so commercial oriented in the way I teach my students? I said, these parents have sent their children here.
Yeah.
You want me to
You
teach them
have
to
to
make
be.
art films?
Yeah.
Or films that, what do you call them? These films that propagate a set? I said, no.
No.
I teach them mainstream commercial film making
Yeah.
because that's where they will practice.
They will be successful in life.
Oh, yes.
They can
You know,
decide what to do later.
Later. they
Let
can
them
convert it
first
into
of all
whatever.
understand the
Oh, yes.
basics.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I accept that, but there are those who will just go in, like the early African filmmakers. Semben Osman says it every time in his
No, but don't
essays.
forget, he made 2 kinds of films.
No,
Samben made films that were for the Western audience, and then he made films that sold African
vision
vision
of
to-
movement.
yeah,
Yes.
to this thing.
No,
Because if you insist on that, and your market is foreign, where you make the dollars, you simply show at the circuits at the door. You won't show in any main film something, and you want your money.
but you know that's the reason why. That's the reason why Nollywood people call that kind of film embassy films.
Embassy films, yeah. They call
Yeah.
some embassy films.
Embassy.
The
film.
embassy films make their money. Then go to show for embassy.
Yeah.
Embassy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think this happens in
You
North
know?
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they pander to, they do a whole lot of things where they want to. I mean, their ability to adapt and to make money.
Oh,
But
yeah.
my major interest now in Nollywood is going back to the so-called old Nollywood.
Why?
There's something crude about those films and something original. Because I've been studying.
Maybe you want to go back to Mosutola too.
Yes, I want to also
You
go
are
back.
welcome.
Yes,
A lot of people
No,
are
I'm,
going
yes,
to that.
because you are in the West. You see, the thing is,
no, I want to go back.
No,
I want to go back
You
to.
see,
For
you
instance,
guys-
I'm doing a
you
conference
guys-
now on the Jamaica literature, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very close to that. Some
It
kind
is.
of spontaneity.
It is because you are in the
This is-
West.
yeah.
That's why you go back to Onitsha market literature when we don't pass and they waka they go. You are going back to it. You are going back to the old Nollywood films.
Yeah.
When we were new Nollywood, you are going back to that place.
Yeah.
You know why I want to
Because
go back
Okome-
there? There
Yeah.
is something vibrant that is not in New Nollywood for me.
And what is that?
It is this spontaneity of storytelling, the closeness to the audience, the closeness to local aesthetic way of speaking, the closeness to local aesthetic way of moving.
Okome, come off
There
this
is
thing
there is
now.
something really
Come
nice.
off this thing. Which kind of closeness? It's like you take a mosquito and you read, and it's like you are doing penance for all your sins each time you turn a page. Because this is so torturous. And then you go and watch the same thing with those films. Oh, you say it's grassroots.
I like
Oh,
them.
boy, the grass don't grow. It don't grow past the
I don't say don't grow, but
But then even this closeness we're talking about,
Yeah.
because I mean, there's something that I saw this in Kunle Afolayan's Ijoba.
Okay.
I haven't
Oh,
seen
yeah.
that yet.
But yeah, with
you need to see
these things
which
are there.
job
The
one, because this
closeness
is the
is still
storytelling.
there.
But adapted to modern
Yeah.
standard, it's the
It's like
traditional storytelling.
because actually the culture
Yeah.
you are looking at is actually growing.
Yeah, it is growing.
Urbanization is spreading.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No,
And a lot of people
see,
have
I know that
remembered
the
the past
I know that the
nostalgia.
culture.
Yeah.
I
So
know
they are borrowing
Uh-huh.
art form.
that's true. I
They
know
have
the
revisited it
Wait,
in
You,
different
you
ways.
just use the right
Yeah,
word.
Yeah.
You guys are so heavy on nostalgia that you are forgetting that that's it. We don't pass them.
I understand that.
Yeah.
That we don't pass and not mean say we not fit go back. Go study am.
No, when we take
You understand?
No.
You can still go back and say, why did these people make films this way?
How does that enlighten where I'm going? How does that enlighten me?
But it enlightens me about the way people live during that time. The kinds of things that they talk about.
Let me tell you about
kinds of
Prof. Let me tell you about this guy's studies. Okome comes up with brilliant ideas, but at times this guy should be locked up. You see, there's this
the
idea.
professor as a sponsor, as a censor.
No. The other time this guy came up with this idea, and then I went to bed with that idea. And each time I would think it over. Then I said, are you allowing this guy to mislead? You see, there was a time this guy came up with this idea that if you take the Nollywood films, if aliens were to land in our world after we are no more, maybe you forgot you said it.
I remember what I said.
They study our films, they can reconstruct our lives.
Our history. Yes.
True?
It's not true.
How?
It's not true. They can reconstruct aspects or the cinematic aspects of our life.
Is it not the same thing?
It's not.
But he said the same thing.
Hey! Don't take sides with him.
No, I'm not.
But let me come.
Okay.
Let me come. It's like
It's the same thing we're talking about.
It's like saying that art is 100% reflection.
I don't agree.
Because people ran with his idea.
I don't agree.
And started using it.
If they like, according to Onookome, he said, I don't want to run for this election. I'm going to walk.
I will walk into the state.
That's the business. But I think that it is true. You can go back to those films and then say, look, this is where urban culture was.
This is what we enjoyed at one particular time.
Yes.
That is it. Not that you can reconstruct our life.
It can't be 100%.
It cannot be 100%.
Not even 10.
Yeah, because the truth is that, I mean, when you remember the icons,
I agree. I do agree. If I take Living in Bondage now, or take Onitsha Market Literature that you are into right now, let's take Veronica, My Lover. You read Veronica, Veronica, My Lover, Onitsha Market Literature.
Yes.
Then you want to use that to reconstruct our way of life.
No. What you use that to do, let me tell you what you use that to do. If you tell a girl growing up today, that, in fact, when I taught it to my class, they said, but there's no conflict here. And you know why they said there's no conflict?
Because it's not a boy one girl, girl wants another.
No, it is the fact. No, they say there's no conflict because no father tells the daughter who to marry.
Okay.
Right? But at that time, no girl, no matter how strong he had, they will talk say not go marry the man where Papa give him.
Do you know you're not speaking the truth?
How?
I have my elder sister. My father was a soldier. Okay.
Yeah.
And my elder sister went to school when it was not fashionable to send girls to school. And my father sent her to secondary school.
Yeah.
Those things. Okay. The person she chose to marry was a private in the army. My father said no. She married him. When we make certain statements, we should be careful.
Wait first, okay?
What was that period?
No, what date? Yes, what date are you talking about?
My elder sister was born in 1930. So when you say, at what period was Veronica? No, I'm trying to say we should be a bit careful.
No. There are exceptions. There are exceptions.
Be a bit cautious.
No, there are exceptions. But the general rule.
You are exceptions.
No, there are general rules. The general rule at that time.
Prof, answer. Prof.
Let me see the pamphlet. That pamphlet at that time sold 60,000 copies.
Do you know why?
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because I read that pamphlet. There was nothing to read. That thing came. There was actually nothing to read. I read it. There was nothing to read. It's like, say, if you had an alternative, then the element of choice was involved. That's in case there was no indigenous literature to take its place. Ekwuazi even went through that way. There was nothing local to challenge it. And that's why the thing went the way it did. But at any rate, the point is, we cannot totally reconstruct our lives based on the things
No,
that
we are not
there.
saying that.
We cannot even 10% reconstruct our
No,
lives.
we are not saying.
I rest my case. Can we go on?
No, there are not. We're not
Prof.
saying that you can totally reconstruct your life. No,
Yeah.
we are saying that you
Yeah.
can find a semblance
Elements.
of how
Yeah,
people
I
lived
I agree.
at that time.
When you are,
And it
I
is
agree.
important. So you can take Shakespeare and say you read
This was how
Shakespeare.
it was in
You-
the-
this was how it was in the 18th century.
Your followers are not saying that.
They should say that. If
I mean, those of us
I'll
who
come
have
give a talk in your
No,
class.
because-
I'll come give a talk in your class. Let them follow that.
No, because you see,
Shakespeare,
when you make that statement,
Yeah.
I told you it disturbed me because I can't carry I can't be clean.
That's the problem.
I'm always willing
You
to
took
buy
it so
new ideas.
seriously.
No, I'm always willing to buy into
This
new
is the
ideas.
problem with scholars.
Then I
you
now
know.
realize that some people's new ideas, oh,
They all fuck your brain up.
You have to think about it. You have to think. Why would you go and be thinking?
Meanwhile, they publish that essay for rap.
Oh, really?
oh yes. That's why some of these things we do as academic.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one I did when I was talking to Haynes, and it was later published. Soliloquy in the African
Yeah.
film. As you know, if you look at Living in Bondage and the rest of them,
Yeah.
there's these people
A
talking.
A lot of
A
yes.
lot of-
So
yeah,
I remember telling Haynes that actually that soliloquy is simply a conversation between the person and the chi.
yeah.
So what you hear is what the person is saying. What is personal God he is having that discussion with, you don't hear.
No.
So when you put it in the cinema, it comes off like, and the way Haynes took it, I was joking, no. And the way he took it, Sanders took it so serious.
No,
I
of
now
course.
put it in a paper, and I was surprised that people are quoting it.
No.
So some of these
that is
ideas-
serious.
No, some of
No,
these
but it's
ideas,
true.
no, the academic ideas really,
Yeah.
but we need to look at them again.
Yeah, but then again, the idea, the idea of,
We need to look at them again.
yeah, the idea of our war,
Yeah.
people do that,
Yeah.
and I mean, I
Yeah.
remember I gave a talk on the Abiku syndrome
Yeah.
at the LSA conference, and this is part of the thing, especially the chi. I mean, we see
Yeah.
when we were young, we
Yeah.
see children, we saw
Yeah.
children
Yeah,
talking alone,
yeah,
and then they would monitor that child, and they say it's discussing with the
Yeah,
spirit.
and
Mhm.
then of course again they will say, oh, it's hallucination, is whatever. So maybe there's something. What you say
Yeah.
maybe is meaningful, because there are actually some people who do it more than the
I was
others.
joking, but Okome doesn't know when he's joking.
Yeah,
But you
so-
see, all these new cinemas, take what happened to the Japanese cinema when it came to the US.
Mhm.
It was not accepted
Yeah.
because for the Japanese people, is between we shoot our traditional shooting is from 4 to 6 feet, but they shoot from
From ground.
to 4.
But because that's the way
That's
they
they
live.
sit. No, they sit. That's what
They
I'm saying.
sit.
Even if you want Magani Jariche of NTA
Yeah.
and all of them,
Yeah.
the long drawn out
Yeah.
discussion
Yeah.
and the very low
Low
something.
angle.
Yeah,
Low
this is our
angles.
culture,
Yeah.
but they must end within because you see, if you are going to sell it, that cultural cutting becomes too thick for anybody
That's
to
true.
penetrate.
No, that's true. That's
So that
true.
the obscure meaning, obscure even the
Another
logic
example
of the
was
story.
the quarrel that Shoyinka had with Ossie Davis.
Yeah.
You remember the story that
Yeah.
Ossie Davis didn't capture what he wanted in Congo's harvest,
Yeah.
which was not the flamboyance of Yoruba culture, but the deep-seated spiritual essence.
How do you capture? Boy, leave Shoyinka out of this. how do you capture? No, because those guys actually, some of the things they taught us were wrong. How do you capture the
Spiritual essence.
with your camera?
It's difficult. It's difficult.
You see, what O.C. Davis did
It's difficult.
was to do something that only a trained filmmaker would do:
Mhm.
create a narrator. At that time, it was alien to Shoyinka's dramaturgy.
Mhm.
So he created a
And then,
narrator
but
who
it-
now started explaining the significance
Yeah.
of the new year.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how do you capture that significance of the new year,
But
which
it
is
did-
the spiritual
But it did
essence
something
of it?
also for the
Yeah.
African American audience of the 1960s.
No. But then at the cost of your culture, which is what Shoyinka's
Anger,
Yeah,
his
you
anger
see.
was about that.
And let me tell you, like I said, at times when I remember those my early teachers, and remember Shoyinka's movement of transition?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I've seen the film. It's in African studies.
It's in African studies. You see that film. There's where Olushola sits down.
Segun Olushola.
Segun Olushola is sitting down. and then he's reading from Emostutola.
Mhm.
He's reading from a lot of, and some of those things are even from Shoika's
Strong breed.
Strong Breed.
Strong
Those
breed.
things are dramatized. But the one that I now I can't forgive myself for believing was what they did with the Abo dancer. Remember JP Clark's Abo
Yes,
dancer?
yes.
Olushola sits in a place and is reciting the poem, the Abo dancer, and the Abo dancer is dancing.
Yes.
Isn't that a mortal sin?
Well,
No, because
I
I'll tell
think
you how.
I thought it was a stylistic thing.
No, that's a criminal sin.
Ah,
Your camera cannot capture poetry. You see, the moment you start reciting poetry, which creates its own pictures, and then you leave the picture in the here and now, what do you want the camera to capture?
well,
That's why, hold on, that's why in Hollywood, if you want to fail, go and produce Shakespeare. Because Shakespeare is in the lines. Shakespeare is in the poetry. And you cannot capture that thing with the camera. If you are trying to capture it, you will lose focus. So there is no poetry in filmmaking.
But you know
because
that
the camera cannot capture it. You see, when I was taught and my teachers went into ecstasy over that film, and we thought there was everything in that film. But by the time I sat in 2 or 3 film classes, I realized that this was the worst film anybody could show anybody. Because you can't show me an Abo dancer and try to make poetry out of the dancing. It doesn't happen.
There are certain things that are not capturable.
Yes.
But what we do is just like the the Quran. When in translation, it's not considered.
No, you cannot. You
it's
cannot.
not considered. But then, in order to make it accessible, it is still translated. So, in other words, I understand what you're saying. I mean, I can see, the
Look,
point you're
see
making.
her caught in the trouble of the drum. Let's quote some of the lines. I'm listening to that line.
And then you see the girl dancing like.
You know what it reminded me in later years? It's like running a football match, then you put the TV coverage and the radio coverage. Then you are listening. You are lost.
Yeah.
That's what that film did. But at that time, because my teachers did not point it out to me, I flowed with it. And it did a lot of damage to me.
Up to before now that you are talking about that, I really didn't think about it. I thought it was an aesthetic thing.
No, it was rubbish.
So the guy, so Shola talks, gives you the
He's reading the poetry and the woman is dancing. Which one you go follow?
It kind of trivializes the
whole thing.
Thing is that. So that brings us to a very big question. What happens in contemporary? We are in a season of epics. And people are crazy about it. A lot of filmmakers are going. Of course,
epics. Do we have the epics coming back? It's one of the stunted art forms.
Exactly. I wanted to say that.
Well, there's been a lot of epics, but there are attempts of recreating the past.
Okay.
In a few movies, especially in this Western part.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Fine. Yes.
Jagun Jagun.
Yeah.
7 Doors.
Even 1970. But that all those ones.
Yeah. So, Fumilayo.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of people are doing it in various forms. We've seen some, and so what are your thoughts about that? What do you think?
You see, when you said epics, my mind went to because those epics were really
not epics.
Yeah. How do you put it now?
Which
because all like the old Nollywood
like the one made
Battle of
Musainga. Those are not really epic.
Yeah.
But you see, it was this guy who defined epic for me.
Yeah.
This guy who died, the actor from Delta State too.
Who's that? Who's that? Adigwe?
No,
the young man.
It was not he was not the young. The man who I'm away carry Harry go marry wife 3 times.
Who's that?
How can I forget this?
What's it been?
Funny man like this. They do funny.
Wait. Not Biokaju.
No. This old man. What's his name?
Which old man is that?
The thing just vexes her.
Artist who finished from Ibadan.
He finished from here.
He finished.
Sam Loco. It was Sam Loco. I interviewed Sam Loco. It was Sam Loco who told me in Ibadan. Who told me? They said, so Joe Okome is your brother. I said, it was my classmate in Ibadan. So I come and say, this epic, what is it? He said, "Now the name when we give him, it not mean anything." Now the name when we
He's a
give
very
him.
reverent fellow.
He
Anyway.
said that nine times he say. Now I can ask and say, but they say, oh guys, they say they drink. Oh, he say, sit down there, me and your brother have been drink small. But I started drinking industrially in 1962. So look, so when they tell me that thing, I don't think I say, but I put up my essay. Say this epic is nonsense.
Even
That is not how to define epic.
How do you make an epic and you've not actually studied the period?
No, nothing.
You are not visually representing that period.
Battle of Musanga. What is epic about Battle of Musanga is women losing their breasts.
The thing again is
you cannot show that film to any international
South
people.
Africa something idea of look. Really, they are not epic. So when you said epic,
that was where we were going.
But when you now come to film Layo, when you come to some of these films, you can say yes because you can see that the person has studied that period.
Oh yes,
and he's trying to represent that period as a fraction of lived
history. Yeah,
yeah. I don't have any problem with
and then the achievement of the person, the subject in question. That's also
within the larger
context. Yes, when you talk of say
no, but again, I will qualify that larger context. You see, I was in the Project Nollywood Acts. You know that time Jonathan gave.
You remember when they gave that money?
Yes, there were 4 of us in that committee to distribute the money to filmmakers, and one of the amateurs came. And the portfolio he submitted was I wanted to make a documentary on his father. He forgot it. We are talking of money from the national coffers that you want to give people. No, you see, you are going wrong. I'll tell you. So we were 4 in that committee, myself and Shegu, who is now dead. He read film in CLA, and 2 women from economics. So both of us were from film, the 2 women from economics. And the guy made his presentation. He finished. They didn't waste time. They said no, this is no. You can't make it. You can't use national money to make a documentary on your father.
No, on that basis.
Then I said, no, you are wrong. I said, it's not because I know the Amata family or anything. The time the father lived, you can tie up a documentary that captures Nigerian. What did this guy do in Onookome, that her film? Squandering of Riches.
Or Umar.
Sure. This thing is tied around her growth and everything, but Nigerian history is now being seen around that.
Yeah, but
she comes and tells you this is where my father was buried. Now a highway passes through it. She's talking about the development in the rural areas, but it's being tied. So if this guy wants to make a documentary on his father,
he can.
And his father had come into UI. I remember the father came into UI when it was University of London.
Yes.
And then he pulled out. Came back now when it was now University of Ibadan, took out a degree, came back to do a master's, and was always tying wrapper. The father embodied a certain period of Nigerian history.
No, but my only objection.
So you can make a documentary.
You can, but my objection to making a documentary about that guy is what was his relevance
that's what
as
I'm
a person
in
cultural context.
No, but I'm coming.
Yes.
I'm happy that I was able to convince my colleagues, and we made some money available for the making of that film.
But the film hasn't been made.
How many of them made the film they got the money for? So, but the point I'm making, the father, I remember throughout the father was here. He tied a Soko wrapper.
Yes. Now Robo Soko.
The man never
wore trousers.
And he's schooled in London. He was always traditional. I know how we used to look at him here.
Kind of weird.
Oh yes. He was emphasizing that culture. And then you're asking me what is his relevance?
Well, now that I've heard that would have been my.
I argued and I swayed the other 3 jurors, and we were able to make that money available. I said, no, you can make a personal thing. I don't have any problem when it comes to that. But how do you stress that relevance? You know, how do you stress the if you can stress that relevance? I go for it.
Yeah. You know? It's irrelevant. It has to have a meaning within a larger
with family context. It has to go beyond the family.
It has to go beyond the family.
Most serious things too is from the immediate to the
larger group.
You once made a comment. I think in one of your essays. There's so many of them that I've read. But, I think I remember you were commenting on Igbo films then.
Yeah.
That they have not really, embraced the film culture. Igbo, Igbos as much because they did not see the money in it.
Oh yeah, that was at
Like,
that time.
Yeah, that time. So, but then a lot has changed.
A lot has
So,
changed.
what do you think,
see
man?
what happened at that time really? It was like music. You won't get. I was listening to Show and Day's interview recently. That is Show and Day.
You know, Fela Show, it's Fela Show
no,
and
not Fela Show and Day. Show and Day, the
The
dramatist.
Body Show and
Body
Day.
Show
Body
and
Show
Day,
and
yeah.
Day.
And he was talking about his influences. I was talking about his family background. You find that there is music in his family background,
Right.
classical music. Fela Show and Day that you mentioned. There is this thing. You won't find an Igbo family where you have such classical orientation, Western classical orientation, whether it's music or cinema. So I'm trying to say
What
that.
of Laz?
Laz Ekwuazi, that is much recent.
Okay.
That is much recent. And it's not a family thing, it's a one-off.
One off, okay.
You know?